So I have shared many binge eating food related videos, so I'm gonna make it again because I wanna share that, like whenever we hear something really shocking, like oh my god, when we hear news like okay, this thing happened, that thing happened, these many people were killed, these many, like this happened to this woman or that happened to this country, like all these things, they are incredibly shocking. When we keep listening to these kind of news, we become very dysregulated, and it is not possible for a human being to listen to these kind of news and be normal, go about their day. No, it just puts you in a very shocking way, and that's why when you see like okay, you're just eating because you're numbing that shock, or anyway. So today I was like I had like, because 2 3 days back someone told me something really shocking, and I know they told me that thing because they were in shock themselves, and they did not wanted to go through it alone. That's what, if when you were a child, you will see, or you will see, not when you were a child, if you see some child, even if their pencil breaks, they're like, mommy, see my pencil broke, and even if the relatives will come, he will be like, they will be telling that story until they don't want to, so that is very okay and normal for us to talk about things when we go through something uncertain, like oh my god, what this happened and things like that. But a lot of us did not had anybody. Like I remember I was going through sexual abuse, I was going through so much of humiliation, poor treatment and abuse, but I had nobody to share it with. So that's like, because of which my relationship with food also got disrupted. I was eating to numb, not to get the nutrition. Okay, so or numb, or like eating to process the shock, but sometimes shock is so too big that we just eat, instead of like actually processing the shock, because we don't have right resources to process the shock, right? So anyway, 2 3 days ago, someone told me something really shocking, and I could see that they are telling me because they don't want to go through it alone, and I don't even want anybody to go through anything alone. So I heard it, then I came to my room, and someone who was like, auntie, another auntie, she told me, she repeated that thing, and she was in major shock. I was like, I understood it, and then I had nobody to go to, so I just took it, and then I went on a walk. And I saw my friend, and I knew that she is a mother, so if I tell something to her, she will be in shock and dysregulated. So I did not want it to. So I went to the nature place where I go to. It was calm, and then then the realization that hit me was, is it okay, like if I don't want anybody to go through the shocking experience all by themselves, you know is it okay that I go through them by myself? I gotta share, right? And there are other people who would want me to share it. They will not want me to go through it all by themselves. Okay, so then I was like, then I let go of this epiphany. Now 3 4 days later, I went to get vegetables, and there I've been like for 3 4 years, 3 years. The people who run the vegetable shop, the couple, uncle and auntie, they are like I share things with them. So I just told everything to uncle, and then I don't know, something happened. I felt like I did something wrong, and then I was just like, oh my god, why did I just do that? I should not have told that, and then because I was feeling like that kind of energy, because of that I was started to binge a lot, and then I just forgave myself. I ate like too many chips and biscuits, and it's big for me, because yeah, I just wanted to, God just wanted me to come here and share this. By the way, we should all be you know, the failure in itself is not traumatic. The loss, the failure, loss of love, loss of somebody you love, loss of, dream, failure, disappointment, losing something materialistic, all these things are not tragedy in itself. The tragedy is that you are going through it all by themselves, all by yourself. Like, when a girl goes to a school and she's getting sexually assaulted, and then she's coming back home and she sees all these people and she cannot even share it with them. That's a tragedy. She's alone in her in her assault. That becomes a tragedy. If a guy who is building like this empire and then suddenly he goes through a loss in business and loses its empire, and that loss, that failure is not a tragedy for him genuinely. If that man were to be honest, like building something from the scratch, working so hard every day and then losing it is not a tragedy. But losing it and then having nobody to be with you, to grieve with you, to there to support you, that's a tragedy. Like, I will be all by myself, I will be all alone in it. That's the biggest fear. That becomes a tragedy. That feeling of tragic there and shock that we feel, going through that alone, oh my god, it gives major shocks. So one of the things that we all as human beings, as collective, we need to do is being able to talk, no matter what it is. Loss. My camera got cut, but what I was saying was that we as human beings need to start working towards everything being okay to talk about. Like, do you remember when you were a child, you could not discuss about your body, you could not discuss that body, and now you feel shame around body, and now you're addicted to porn, you over sexualize body, and not you. I was also that person. Or anytime you feel like, okay, there is failure happening, loss happening, you are not able to be with that person because you are scared to talk about it, and it is not your fault, by the way. When we are not educated upon something, when we don't know how to react in certain situation, we run away from it. So I'm not here pointing fingers at you or pointing fingers at myself. As a collective, we need to in our lives make this set this intention on, or invite the energy of a connection. And true connection happens when there is real conversation, honest expression of feelings, okay, so that the person who is in deep fear doesn't have to be alone in those fears. We gotta make up space, okay, we can talk about anything and everything: failure, loss, death, any other thing, fears, okay, illnesses, whatever it is, we can talk about it. And then that separation invites ghosts, separation invites a lot of dark energies. When there is connection, bacteria can't enter. You have heard of viral fevers and everything. That those bacterias, they are opportunistic beings. They enter where they see the opportunity. So you can see that when a human being is living in separation, when there is a separation, they become a match to all kinds of weird entities start to enter in their lives or things like that. So we gotta have connection, and connection with God, of course, but a connection with human beings as well, and not live in isolation. See, alone is okay, we can be alone, but if we are carrying that, oh my god, everyone is our enemy, like, right? Oh my god, where I live right now, everyone is so scared of each other. Neighbors are scared of each other. It's very different. I don't like it at all. It's anyway, as and it's god, it's wow. But I made it. I'm like, loneliness, it's really bad. And loneliness in itself, meaning that we are living with the belief that we are separate and that God has abandoned us, But when you are feeling that deep loneliness, I want you to remember that God has not abandoned you. No matter what kind of fear, like, okay, this can happen, that can happen, I'll be alone in it, I will have no help, all of this, the deeper reason beneath this is that God has abandoned you. But then God has not. Okay, you will always have the all kind of support, whatever you need. You're not separate. A lot of times it has happened in my life when I was so scared, because I was like, oh my god, I have nobody that I can go to help for about this thing. And then all of a sudden a random people showed up to help me. Random. Okay, and this not just once, that kept happening. So maybe you feel like, okay, I don't have anybody right now that I know that will help me, but then world is so big. There's not only the like 20 people that like there are like plenty of people, and God knows the way to bring those people into your life. God knows the way to bring help, healing, love, connection, whatever you need into your life. Okay, so that is there, but we also need to ask, like, God, bring us good connections, soulful connections. God, use us to connect, to bring connection, to bring harmony within each other. God, restore, love in us, restore harmony between our neighbors and everybody that we know. We have to move with these prayers, carry these prayers in our hearts, carry these intentions in our hearts, because we need it as people. Humanity needs it at this time. It was a great video. Like, I started with something and I genuinely did not know where I was gonna lead with this, where God was going to lead me with this message. But I'm glad that I did show up and I did spoke about it. And I love you. I'm here for you. I promise to show up in the most authentic, vulnerable way, share everything that I know, everything that God's, wanting to speak through me. Everything is in the description, my one-on-one sessions, my magic paintings, so you can, go there and connect with me. And if you need further support from me, I'm happy to be here with you. Super honored, super grateful to be here with you.